Dear colleagues, since the start of COVID, we have met online every Thursday lunchtime to pause, reflect, pay tribute, and remember. We have come through many seasons, often feeling that we were facing the threat of an unpredictable and invisible enemy. We have often acknowledged how this has made us tired, anxious, and lonely. Since last week, we are confronted with another major upheaval. What many might not have anticipated having to witness is now happening. Another war in Europe. We are probably all filled with very powerful emotions like disbelief, horror, grief, anger, and compassion. We know that war brings unspeakable suffering and devastation. In our reflection today, I invite you to light a candle with me if it is safe to do so. May the light of these candles be a small sign that love, hope, and mercy cannot be extinguished. And we think of all who have already died, who've been wounded, displaced, and are terrified. Our thoughts are with all those who are in a safe place, but deeply worried about family members and friends. In today's gathering, we are going to listen to a slightly longer piece of music for 7 minutes. It is called Raindrops, and it's written by Chopin. And as we pause, I invite you to think about ripple effects and our responses to that. James, this poem was written by James Foley, who died in 1939. It's called Drop a Pebble in the Water. Drop a pebble in the water, just a splash and it is gone. But there's 100 ripples circling on and on and on. Spreading from the center, flowing on out to the sea. And there is no way of telling where the end is going to be. Drop a pebble in the water. In a minute you forget, but there's little waves are flowing and there's ripples circling yet. And those little waves are flowing to a great big wave have grown. You've disturbed a mighty river just by dropping in a stone. Drop an unkind word or careless. In a minute it is gone, but there's 100 ripples circling on and on and on. They keep spreading from the center as they go, and there's no way to stop them once you've started them to flow. Drop an unkind word or careless, in a minute you forget, but there's little waves are flowing and there's ripples circling yet. And perhaps in some sad heart, a mighty wave of tears you've stirred and disturbed a life was happy before you drop that unkind word. Drop a word of cheer and kindness, just a flash and it is gone. But there's 100 ripples circling on and on and on, bearing hope and joy and comfort on each splashing, dashing wave, till you wouldn't believe the volume of the one kind word you gave. Drop a word of cheer and kindness, in a minute you forget, but there's gladness still a swelling, there's joy a circling yet. And you've rolled a wave of comfort, whose sweet music can be heard over miles and miles of water, just by dropping one kind word. This war will affect people differently. It will have an impact on the people we live and work with. Our thoughts are with our Ukrainian and Russian colleagues for whom this may be a particularly difficult time. We've now reached the end of today's reflection and I will blow out my candle. But in our hearts, we hold on to the light and send out thoughts of loving kindness to all who are in distress. I wish us all enough strength, hope, and courage for the next steps on our journey.